over the course of the stream, I guess it's kind of segued us well into this topic. We talked about the RJ Barrett trade, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a 31st overall pick. We sent out OG Edo. We talked about how, we might want that trade back. We talked about Malachi Flynn. He was in that trade actually getting sent to the New York Knicks. He even got the Ben Stiller shout out on Twitter, if you'd believe it. Malachi Flynn, all right, I think was the tweet. Maybe the editor can pull that tweet up. Who knows? We talked about former Raptors bigs and how bad some of them were. And it all comes to this. It all links to this. This is the central piece of everything we've talked about. Former Raptors bigs in the trade with OG Anunoby. Not very good. And in fact, actually links to, we're actually going to talk a bit about Goran Dragic a little bit later on in this stream. And he links to that because he was in the Goran Dragic trade in the sign trade of Kyle Lowry. Everything points to this man. Everything goes to the central figure of the universe, which is, of course, you should know by now, Precious Achiuwa. It's funny. Literally everything we've talked about is a segue to Achiuwa. And everything we will talk about in the stream is in relation to Precious Achiuwa. And the reason we talk about Precious Achiuwa right now is because Precious Achiuwa is still unemployed. He's still without a job. He's still without a team in the NBA. Just realized that after seeing this article from Raptors Rapture written by Amos Caesar Mina. Ex-Raptors young asset is still without an NBA job as new season approaches. Now, it's not super uncommon for players to be holding out trying to find a bigger paycheck, but in the case of Precious Achiuwa, it seems like this is just a player who is unable to find even just the smallest of NBA contracts to stay in the league right now because it just never quite clicked for Precious Achiuwa. I remember how excited I was when the Raptors traded for him, and honestly, I had excitement about Goran Dragic, which didn't work out, and funny enough, that's our next topic. But for Precious Achiuwa, I was excited. I thought that was a really good pickup for the Raptors. I thought it was somebody who was extremely underutilized in his time with the Miami Heat. Like, here's a player who shot efficiently from three in college, who took one entire three-point attempt in his entire rookie season with the Miami Heat. Like, if we get this undersized, switchable big who can protect the rim, who can guard in the perimeter, who can shoot threes, if we can get some output out of this guy, man, what a talent we got out of Kyle Lowry on an expiring contract, a free agent. They didn't know us anything. We got Goran Dragic, who can be our backup point guard, and Precious Achiuwa, a big for the future. Wow. Like, that's great. And honestly, in his first season with the Raptors, he exploded from three in the second half of the season. He had 9.1 points per game. 44% shooting the field isn't very good. But hey, he's 22. He shot 36% from three. And you know what? In the playoffs, I don't want to diminish what he accomplished in this playoff series against the Philadelphia 76ers. He averaged 10 points per game. He had 5 rebounds. He shot 48% from the field, 31% from three. Like, nothing super eye-popping. But if you remember that playoff series against the Philadelphia 76ers, this guy was guarding Joel Embiid on a consistent basis and doing quite well in that matchup. And I just remember, I don't know what game it was in particular, but there was literally a game where they were giving the ball to Precious Achiuwa every possession, and he was just attacking Joel Embiid, just going at him. And it seemed like every time he did, he scored. I just thought, what a talent! What an amazing talent we have here. His second half of the season has been so good. He's only gonna get better next season. And then what he proceeded to do is just get worse every season after that. Because the next season for the Raptors, he started in 12 games, 48% shooting the field, plummets down to 27% shooting from three, which is where he's pretty much remained for the rest of his career. It was just a complete fall off. And for a player supposed to get better, he got worse. And the issue was he wasn't hitting threes. He was never a super efficient finisher on the interior. His defense was it was infuriating to watch him play. Seriously, it was I was in a fury of rage. If he was protecting the rim, he was a turnstile. There's the rim. Go ahead, man. If he was on the perimeter, he got burnt. His basketball IQ was very bad. His ball handling was terrible. His decision-making for shots was terrible. His finishing was bad. His three-point shooting was not redeeming him at all. It fell off a cliff. Like I was so excited for Chua when he came. I was so excited after his first season with the Raptors, and then it all just completely went away. I mean, I wasn't the only one who was psyched on Precious Achiuwa. I'd say far from it. I mean, if you go to, I don't even know where it is these days. If you go to the channel, the most popular videos on the channel, if you find like Precious Achiuwa, you don't have to scroll very far. That is the 25th most viewed video in the history of amateur hour sports, and it's in relation to when Miami traded him. And I say, hey man, this Precious Achiuwa guy is dangerous. I mean, some of the other guys on this, God, Alex Antetokounmpo compiled into this list, but I was just like, yeah, that's what it was. It was, I was psyched about Precious Achiuwa, and now we're at the point where he's without a job. He's looking for a job. No team wants him. And honestly, when he went to the New York Knicks in that trade, I'm like, enjoy. I don't think he's ever going to play. He ended up playing honestly, fair amount. Like he played 49 games for the Knicks that season and averaged 24 minutes. And last season he averaged 20 minutes with the Knicks. Stats weren't super impressive. His 3-point shot has been ripped away from him because they don't want to see him shoot that anymore. But I guess the lack of ball IQ kind of caught up to him, and he hasn't been able to replicate that half season of 3-point shooting he had with the Raptors. Here is a guy who was getting actual minutes in the playoffs last year with the New York Knicks. 2 seasons ago, rather, he had 15 and 22. Last season in playoffs, he had some DNPs, and he had very limited minutes. Looks like this is just garbage time, to be honest. Anyways. His career has just kind of fallen off, but just the reality is, if you're not going to be very good at shooting or defense, you got to be really good at something else, and it just never really came for Precious Achiuwa. I think it was a pretty good gamble for the Raptors to take on. There was clearly ability there, but the Raptors were never able to get beyond the lack of ball IQ. He just never really looked assured of himself out there on the floor. So it'll be interesting to see what's kind of next for Precious Achiuwa. We've saw with the example of Malachi Flynn and many other players, your basketball career does not end when your NBA career ends. But I look around the NBA and I just don't really see a lot of teams that would have a strong desire to bring in a player like that, maybe a team that's tanking and needs some guys on 10 days. I don't know, Achiuwa in the G League. I mean, interesting. How would Achiuwa do in the G League? If he was in the G League, how would he actually do? He'd probably be pretty good. Maybe Utah or Washington would kind of take a stab at a player like that. Who knows? Who knows?